How the f does backdoor protection actually work? How does backdoor protection actually work? Why does it seem to be active when it shouldn't be, or be inactive when it should be active? In this video, I'll cover everything that you need to know about backdoor protection. So I thought I knew how backdoor protection worked until one of my recent games. There was an enemy killing one of our towers without any of his creeps nearby, and I was like, what? How can that be? Surely backdoor protection should be active? After that game, I decided to go and research backdoor protection, so for my future games I would be certain of how it worked. I actually learned some interesting things that I never knew, so hopefully you can learn something too. Well, believe it or not, but backdoor protection isn't just something that a tower decides to have when it feels like it. It doesn't just think to itself, man, Pudge is ugly, I'm not gonna let that thing take me down, and then activate its backdoor protection. And it also doesn't think, I've lived a long, fulfilled life defending the ancient. I accept my fate, and then suddenly disable its backdoor protection. Backdoor protection is just an ability that most of your buildings have. And like any ability should, it's got a set of rules that determine how it works, which we'll get into just now. Just remember that your tier 1 towers and shrines outside the base do not have backdoor protection. Just imagine you want to kill the enemy shrine outside their base, but it has backdoor protection active, which means you have to get your creeps to it somehow so you can damage it. It just doesn't make sense. So what does it actually mean when a building has backdoor protection active? Well, it has two main effects on it. Firstly, it takes reduced damage from all damage sources, whether it be attacks or spell damage. It takes 25% less damage from all units, but 75% less damage from illusions. And the second effect is that it has a high HP regeneration rate, 90 per second to be exact. However, it will only regenerate up to the HP that it had when backdoor protection became active, not necessarily to full HP. It will also not regenerate if damaged by an allied unit, meaning you don't have to fight the regen when trying to deny a tower. Funnily enough though, this was only implemented in version 6.6 of DotA, which was June 2009. So denying a tower before then must have been pretty difficult. So imagine this scenario. You have a creep on your team who's really determined to take down the enemy tower. So he starts running at it with all he's got. That tower's backdoor protection will become disabled when the creep gets within 900 range of the tower. However, since it's just a single creep who's pretty weak, the tower manages to kill him within a few hits. The tower's backdoor protection will become active 15 seconds after there are no more creeps in the area. But because of the way the unit detection works with backdoor protection, you actually have 15.5 seconds before it becomes active again. There's just one last thing that you need to know about backdoor protection, and that is all buildings in your base share a single instance of backdoor protection. This means that if it's disabled for one building in your base, it's disabled for all buildings in your base. What this basically means is that if you have, for example, creeps by the enemy's top tier 3 tower, you're able to damage the mid tier 3 and bottom tier 3 towers without having to fight the backdoor protection, because it'll be disabled. However, tier 2 towers have their own separate instances of backdoor protection, which means they don't really care about what's going on in the base or to other tier 2 towers. For example, your top tier 2 tower can still have backdoor protection enabled, even if they're killing your ancient, as long as there are no creeps around the tower. Well, there you have it. That's all there is to backdoor protection. Not a heck of a lot of stuff, but there are a few weird things that it's good to know about. I hope that I've helped you learn something, because I certainly have. Thanks for watching, and cheers for now.